Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm still here at the 2025 edition of the LA Auto Show, and I would not be pulled away from the Nissan display until I brought you this vehicle. Here it is, finally in the flesh. What do I got? This vehicle right here. This is it. This is a 2026 Nissan Z Heritage Edition. But before we get into this drop-dead gorgeous Japanese sports car, let's talk about what's going on here. So the Z, it's been around since 1970, and it really has been one of those not only automotive industry changing vehicles, but also one of those things where people are just drawn to it, whether they're eating bananas. I had a guy earlier go into the shop with a guava melon. I mean, it's really interesting what happens at shows, but it just really allows you to focus on why these cars are so important, because people are willing to just do anything to get a closer look. Now, with the Z car, like I said, it's changed, I think, culture with how people have lived their life. Being an affordable sports car, having a lot of good memories. Maybe your friend had one in high school or college, or maybe you had your first date in your Nissan Z. Well, guess what? This Z specifically is celebrating the Z32 generation. If you don't know what the Z32 generation is, that's my favorite generation. That's the Z car from the 1990s. Now, there has been another Heritage Edition. We showed you that orange one with the Genos and some of the other features on it. This is taking a different spin, and what Nissan is hoping to do is each year bring another Heritage Edition to celebrate the Z car. So what I want to find out is this the must-own sports car? And is it worth the moolah at the end of the day to go with this Heritage Z? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this one and find out. Right off the bat, one of the most iconic colors in not only automotive history, but definitely Nissan's history. This is midnight purple. And what's fantastic about it is that it's one of those color shifting paint jobs. It could be a light green, it could be teal, it could be blue, it could be purple. It not only looks good on a GTR and other Nissan Zs from the past, but it definitely looks good on the new Z. Now up front, you're still gonna get the same headlight design, that great retro style that blends in the past with the present. The Heritage Z is based off of the Z Performance. So when we say Z Performance, we're talking about that upgraded trim. You got the limited slip diff, you got the nicer interior parts, things of that nature, plus it brings even more. The paint job, the midnight purple, love the way that it doesn't have any fake vents. The one thing I wish they would have done for this Heritage Z is shaved this little nook here, or put some lighting or something. I don't know why that's there. It kind of bothers me a little bit. But the color, definitely, I just fall in love with every time I look at it. Now, as we come across that low slung nose, the Nissan badge, all the metallic in that midnight purple, you do have your rounded off rectangles up top in the gray finish, and then they went larger in flat black on the bottom, and then you do have your splitter that's built in. The one thing I would have liked to have seen is some carbon fiber aero on the front, maybe a splitter with some canards or something, because you'll see when we get to the back, they really hit the nail on the head, but I feel like something's missing up here. So I will zonk that, but other than that, I love the look of the Z. Now, as we rise up, you got that classic shape hood, kind of rise in the center, and then it plateaus. Looks fantastic, don't touch it. It looks great. Coming around the bend, here's where things get really good. We have these awesome, just really gorgeous 19-inch bronze wheels. They're raised wheels, great wheel brand, and they're forged aluminum, so they're lighter than cast aluminum. Love the samurai blade sword design. You have the Akabano 4-piston calipers, nice red. It's like the red in the rising sun. Everybody knows where the rising sun is, right? I'm talking about the Japanese flag, the rising sun. That's how red it is. You do get on the performance trim a little bit larger brake rotor, and then of course you have the suspension that's been fine-tuned to give you that extra performance as well. What I would have liked to have seen is some of the bits from the Nismo brought over to this car and give the Nismo even more power than what it has. I think that would have been the better choice. But let me know what you think about the wheel with our paint job. Like I said, 19-inch wheel, and you do have the upgraded Bridgestone 007 tires, those S007 tires, to give you more stick, more grip. Up front on the 19-inch wheel, you're looking at a tire size that is 255 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and of course this is rear-wheel drive. Now as we rise up underneath the hood, you still have that 3-liter twin turbo V6, 400 horsepower, and that 6-speed manual transmission. 6-speed manual transmission is the way to go. Coming down the side, midnight purple on the mirror caps, midnight purple painted all over that. I'm so glad they didn't do two-tone. If you're gonna do midnight purple, do midnight purple. And they spilt it everywhere, even along the lower sill. Now this is where it's gonna be challenging for Lori. I'm gonna have her really flex her skills and show you our twin turbo side stripe that they do. That is that connection back to the 300ZX, the Z32 300ZX. I like the way it ends on the door, the end of the door. I'm glad it didn't come all the way to the back. Starts behind the front wheel, and then it goes right to the edge of the door. Looks great, not too much in your face, but if you look, you can notice it. Now coming towards the rear, great job on the door handles. Look at the badge. I'm glad they're doing this badging with the Heritage Edition around the Z badge. Of course, just like up front, you have those 19-inch wheels, the Akabana brakes, all 4 corners, rear-wheel drive, limited slip diff, and we have a little bit more rubber to meet the road out back, 285 on the rear tires. And these are stickier tires than your standard Z. Now, here's where it gets good, real good. And this is what I was talking about at the front. You have this carbon fiber trunklet spoiler, full carbon fiber trunklet spoiler that goes all the way to the edge of the fenders with the twin turbo name, just like the original 300ZX. This would have matched perfect with a splitter up front. Don't you agree? This unfortunately is the only piece of carbon fiber. It would have been nice to have a carbon fiber piece on the nose, but you still have that same great fastback roof design into the rear hatch area. Looks stupendous. And then dropping it like it's hot. Love the Z badge, the Nissan badge, the way they did the Z32 lighting. Those tail lights are there to mimic a Z32 Nissan Z from the 90s, and that's on all Zs. And then down below, you have the gloss black rear diffuser. Another thing I wish they would have done was given us a catback exhaust. Come on, man. You got the Nismo car right to the left of us. Lori, show them that Nismo Z up on that hoist. You have Chris Forsberg's Nissan Z modified with all the Nismo parts. It would have been nice to take the catback exhaust from that vehicle and put it on this Heritage Z just to make it a little bit more special. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. But I still love the looks, don't get me wrong. I'm drooling all over this thing left and right. But why don't we get inside and see what touches there are for this special Z. All right, guys, we're in it to win it in this Heritage Z. I tell you, it's one of those cars that, like I said, it has so much history, so much tradition, and it really is about the driver. It's about the driver and the performance. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want one of these Heritage Zs. How much is it? Well, let me give you the stats. So starting price for a base Z is right around $47,000. This Z is gonna be closer to $60,000. And then of course you could go higher than that and get the Z Nismo. So it's not cheap, but when you look at the a Mustang GT costs you 60 grand. So let's just call it the way it is, right? Let's tell it the way it is. But let's see if Nissan brought some special touches to this Heritage Z on the interior. To the door panels. Because this is based on a premium, on the Performance Premium trim, you do get the nicer Alcantara, the stitching, and that little bit of leather there on the door panel. Bose sound system. Door pocket's a little tight. Maybe just 2 chili dogs from Checkers and a banana shake to wash it down. But the zonk is there's nothing on that door panel that screams Heritage Edition, unfortunately. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, same story. You get a nice dash, the leather, the stitching, but there's nothing that stands out that says this is a Heritage Z. Now, as we come in, you got your triple analog gauges. I'm so glad that they did that. Your boost gauge, your voltmeter, all that good stuff. The only thing I wish they would get rid of is the turbo speed. I don't care about turbo speed. What I care about is oil pressure or oil temperature. 9-inch infotainment system, because this is the upgraded Z performance trim. You do have a touchscreen. I can't turn it on because we're at the auto show, but you got real physical buttons and knobs. AC controls, standard AC controls. There's no dual climate or anything like that. You got a place where you can put 2 Snickers so you don't get hangry and kill your camera person. USB-C, USB-A. You have your automatic rev match downshifting. Your start-stop button. A carbon fiber drive shaft is underneath here because we have that 6-speed manual transmission. Nice short throws, good engagement. It's not rubbery like the Toyota Supra's manual because it's based off of the BMW manual. This one, it feels really good, and you have an exity performance clutch, so that's nice. You have your 2 stages of power seats, good old-fashioned mechanical e-brake, 1 cup holder, and then another one is hidden. There are 2 cup holders, and then what you could do is you open it all up. You have a 12 volt in there and enough room to where you could probably put, I would say, 4 Casio watches, maybe Armatron. If you know Armatron watches, you and I could be best friends. They're not very expensive, I promise you that. Seats. Would have been nice to have some different material, because even some embroidery, like have it say Heritage Edition. What's going on? Somebody run out of yarn and thread or something? But they are nice seats. They're comfortable. They got good bolstering. They're full power, so you can slide them. Look at that, I'm sliding them. And then I could tilt it back. You see that? So that is nice. You do get cubbies. Well, I don't think Lori's ever shown the cubbies. The cubbies in the back, you could easily put, I would say, 2 boxes with 2 pairs of Jordans back there. So if you're a sneakerhead, you can put your sneakers back there. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room. So that's good. And there is no sunroof in a Z, and I'm okay with that. But why don't you get your butt over here? I want to show you behind the wheel in this Heritage Z. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do get a nice aluminum sill plate with the Z badge that illuminates, and the Heritage Edition, which is cool. And then the pedal box is perfect. Aluminum dead pedal, clutch, brake, and throttle. You could do your own heel-toe downshifting, or this does have automatic rev match downshift. You do have Heritage Edition floor mats. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower. And then you have the same seats as the passenger. Now, what's cool is that you could actually make a couple manual adjustments by raising the lower portion of the seat or the back portion. So the front of the bottom cushion or the back of the bottom cushion. Not a lot of seats do that. That's nice to have. Like I said, I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, the leather. I wish they wouldn't put gloss black on the wheel, so they need to change that ASAP. But you got the nice Z badge. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you do have a 12.3-inch display. I can't show it to you because we can't turn the car on, but we will be doing the first drive very soon. Now, there is a storage area behind. It's got some good usable storage. This could be your daily driver. You don't have to buy a Heritage Z and just park it in your garage and never drive it. You could actually drive it on a daily basis. I can't wait to do the first drive. We're doing the first drive hopefully within the next couple weeks, but we got more to bring from the LA Auto Show, so let's wrap it up. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways. Here at the Nissan booth, definitely got to thank the whole Nissan USA team. Now it's your turn. Let them know what you think. Did they do enough to this Heritage Edition to make it worth the price tag and make it that must-own sports car for 2026? I think the Midnight Purple alone makes it the worthwhile sports car, that's for sure. But let them know in the comment section because they read through the comments here on Raity's Rides. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, think you're being part of the Raity's Rides family, gotta give it to Latte Lori. You know, it's like she does not give up. Even when she's hungry, she's tired, she still just kicks in. But now that this video's over, she's ready to take a break or we're going home. That's what she says. So thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.